Hi there, thanks for watching my views and news. Disappointing news for the Ethiopian government. The news is from Somalia, but uh, Ethiopia would not see this internal development in Somalia as conducive to the efforts by Ethiopia to keep its rivals away from its borders. Secondly, shame on Oromia government. That's what I want to say. Shame on Hailu Edugna, Oromia regional government spokesperson. I'll explain that a little later. Firstly, we know that Ethiopia has long been trying to keep Egypt away from its borders. Egypt has been trying to establish military presence close to Ethiopian borders in Ethiopian neighboring countries. Egypt signed a security pact with Sudan. Egypt tried to establish a military base in Djibouti. Egypt has been very proactive in Somalia recently. Egypt signed an agreement with South Sudan as well. But Egypt could not gain a strong foothold in Ethiopian neighborhood. Ethiopia kicked Egypt out of South Sudan. Now, Ethiopia is a more influential player in South Sudan than Egypt is. Sudan is faced with internal conflict. It's split into two, RSF and military, are two powers. So we cannot say entire Sudan is predominantly pro-Egypt. Eritrea is new Egyptian ally, but it's just start of their strategic partnership. But Egypt, it seems, has managed to gain a strong foothold in an Ethiopian neighboring country, and that is Somalia. Know that African Union transition mission in Somalia, ATMIS, is going to come to a close at the end of this year. But African Union Peace and Security Council, Somalia's neighbors, they have been calling for the extension of the mandate of this commission. They say that without the support of other African countries, Somalia's security institutions cannot fight Al-Shabaab and the state could collapse. Kenya openly says that African troops must remain deployed to Somalia, otherwise the government could collapse. Al-Shabaab would take over. Ethiopia says the same as well. Somalia's government of Hassan Sheikh has been insisting on the termination of the mandate of Afghan mission, but later it changed its position. Now it is saying that the mission will take a new form after the 2024. Now, what is being reported is that two countries have shown interest in deploying their troops in Somalia at the start of 2025. ATMOS will be launched with the new name. New name would be Awesome African Union Support and Stabilization Mission in Somalia. Now, the ATMOS mission has troops from Uganda, Kenya, Djibouti, Burundi, I think, Ethiopia. But in 2025, in January 2025, which countries will operate in Somalia? Djibouti and Egypt's interest has been confirmed. They want to deploy their troops to Somalia. Somalia would be more than happy to welcome them. Somalia has formed a new strategic partnership with Egypt. Djibouti is Hassan Sheikh's ally. Both countries, Djibouti and Egypt, are strongly opposing Ethiopia-Somaliland MOU. Egypt's foreign minister 2 days ago in a joint press briefing with Turkish foreign minister said that Egypt rejects Ethiopia-Somaliland MOU. Djibouti Ismail Omar has been proactively undermining the Ethiopia-Somaliland MOU. And some say Djibouti is training anti-Somaliland groups on Djibouti-Somaliland border. And Djibouti is backing SSC Khatomo and other state leaders for fighting against the Somaliland forces. So these two countries will have greater security role in 2025 in Somalia after just a few months. What about Ethiopian troops? Ethiopian troops, part of ATMOS, will leave. They'll have to leave, I think. Somalia won't accept the presence of Ethiopian troops there. But Ethiopian troops deployed under bilateral arrangement in Jubaland, Southwest State, might continue because these two regional states have been opposing the complete and immediate withdrawal of all Ethiopian troops from their regional states. They say that their regional states could be vulnerable to attacks by Al-Shabaab, so they want the Ethiopian troops to continue. Disappointing news for Ethiopia because Ethiopia has long been trying to keep Egypt away from its borders. Now Egypt will have a key role in 2025 Somalia. Djibouti as well. How will Ethiopia counter that? That we'll discuss in another video, a separate video. Secondly, viewers, shame on Oromia regional government. I would repeat that. Shame on Hailu Dugna, Oromia regional government spokesperson. It was July last month when 167 students of Debark University were kidnapped on Oromia, Amhara border in Oromia, in Gibrek Guracha town, in North Shore zone of the Oromia region. Ransom was demanded. Ora was accused. Some students managed to escape. Hailu Edugna, Oromia regional government spokesperson, held a press briefing. He said, out of 167 students, 160 had been freed. It happened because of action taken by security forces. But international news outlets are reporting now that those who have been released so far were released after paying ransom. 16 students released. Their families, students interviewed by some news outlets, and they say they paid ransom amounting to 1,000 to 500,000 birrs. They transferred money through banking channels to abductors, and that is how they were released. Still, dozens of students are in the custody of that armed group. Hailu Dugna, I think, accused the Oromo Liberation Army of kidnapping students. Now, where is the government? International media, families of abductees, they say they're paying ransom. Only after payment of ransom, students are being released. Those who have been released, they say that at least 2 students were killed by the abductors. And Oromia regional government told white lies. Blatant disinformation was spread by Oromia regional government just to tell international community that Oromia government was very active and it had taken action on the armed groups who kidnapped students. Nothing happened. Basically, Oromia government endangered the lives of poor abductees by telling lies about the whereabouts of the abductees. Hailu Edugna should resign. Federal government should ask Hailu Edugna to resign. Oromia government should clarify why Hailu Edugna lied. Did Shimalis Abdisa take action against Helu or not? Or was Shimalis Abdisa was also part of the plan to tell lies just to appease the international community? This is how people are protected in Ethiopia, that just government people tell lies when an issue gains international attention, as if the people are blind, as if the world is blind. Everything is coming out. Government is being exposed. So what did the government gain from telling lies? Nothing. Government exposed. Again, I would say shame on Oromia regional government and Helu Adugna, the government spokesperson. Thank you for watching.